StockTwits Nation. It is the Daily Rip Live coming at you from San Francisco at the Gateway Conference. I'm here with Evan Pondel, IR strategist, IR aficionado, but also adjunct professor at the USC Edinburgh School of Journalism and Communications. Evan, what's up? How you doing?
Katie, I'm good. How you doing?
It's early. It's
It
really
is.
early, but
Yeah.
we are, I finally got caffeinated coffee. I had decaf in my room this
Mm,
morning, which wasn't doing it. So I'm good now.
I'm glad you have the caffeine. I haven't had my caffeine yet.
Oh,
So
wow.
how
Okay.
how do I
Well,
look? I look okay without
you
caffeine?
look good and there's a lot of drama going on in the corporate
Hmm.
governance side of things that I think it will keep us entertained for a little bit in this conversation as you wade through life without caffeine. And I'm so glad you're here today because we've been talking a lot about trends in corporate governance, how companies are
Mm.
communicating with investors. Obviously, we're at this institutional investor conference, which is funny. These executives are having these sort of one-off meetings, and they come in here and they sit with me, and it's a whole other side of the job. But curious, you study this stuff, you write about it, you advise companies on it. Things happening out there like Open Door. What do you make of the current environment for these companies out there right now?
Well, I think folks are a little baffled in terms of what they should say and how they should say it
Hmm.
because there's so many mixed messages that folks are getting from their core audiences or their stakeholders. And, I think that coming up with authentic messaging, whatever that means, it's an overused word,
Yeah.
authenticity. It's a challenge. And so, in terms of just how I'm advising my clients, um, I think you can't make everybody happy, you know?
Yeah.
And so as long as you're staying true to your mission statement and your investor thesis and you're proving those proof points, I think you'll get credit.
Yeah.
I think it's just realizing, look, I'm not going to make everybody happy, and I got to be okay with that.
Yeah. It is the diversity of retail investor types in terms of, their risk appetites, their expectations all over the place. Whereas you're dealing with institutional, they kind of fit the same sort of model sometimes. I'm curious what you hear. We were talking yesterday a little bit about uh, the authenticity word, and I think does get thrown around. But in my mind, it's like these executives showing more of themselves to the public.
Sure.
And sometimes that goes well. Like I always think about Alex Karp going on CNBC and saying the short sellers were on cocaine and like the people loved it. But like, I don't know if Mark Benioff could do that. So
Right.
how do you help, executives understand where they can play? And do you think it's good that some of these executives are a little more human than they used to be?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that is important, to be as much of yourself as you can possibly be when you're in front of retail, when you're in front of institutional investors. I mean, people pick up on that stuff, right? So being who you are and showing your true colors is important. The problem is not every CEO or CFO has the social pragmatics,
That's a
to
nice
to
way
be
to put it.
themselves.
That's a
Right.
really nice way to put it. You're like, some
I mean,
people
it's
couldn't be themselves.
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal. It's like I think you sometimes have to train the person or deprogram them
Yeah.
to be actually who they are versus who they think they should be. I mean, it
Wow.
sounds it sounds perfectly obvious and
Yeah.
reasonable to you and me, because I think, for the most part, even when we're in this kind of context, you and I are being ourselves. But
Mhm.
for other folks, it's like, oh shit, I have to like get in front of all these people and I have to talk about why my company sucked
Yeah.
last quarter. And I'm going to piss people off, but I have to say it diplomatically. I have to, and I think that, we get trapped in this kind of like corporate talk. No offense to the baby boomers out there, but they were raised on a very different type of like blocking and tackling when it came to communicating with key audiences
Yep.
and stakeholders. And I think there are important lessons to learn. I mean, I'm not saying that you got to go on CNBC and talk about doing cocaine, right? We're not trying to be like provocative.
He wasn't doing the cocaine.
He
It was
wasn't
his
doing cocaine.
co-sellers
Fine,
doing
right?
it.
Okay.
Although he might have also been doing the cocaine. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something to be said about people trying to be like overly provocative sometimes to
Yeah.
engage their audiences, and you can kind of see that. You're like, okay, man, like you're just trying to
Yeah.
provoke. But at the same time, it's like I read the canned quote in your earnings release that ChatGPT wrote. It doesn't really say shit. And so what's really going on?
Yeah.
And if you can't tell that story about what's really going on, then you're going to have problems with both retail and institutional investors.
Yeah, it is. I want to get to the AI side of things, but I've noticed a trend lately where I feel like it used to be a lot of times you'd have the earnings release and the quote, and then they'd get on the call and they'd pretty much just read a longer version of that quote. Now I feel like it is sort of the the editor's cut when you get to the earnings call, and there's a little ad libbing, and there's a little more of a drive to entertain during those. Which, if you're like a CFO and you've been doing this for 30 years, you're like, wait, I gotta entertain these people now. Like that, it seems like such a different skill set.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the pre-call mode or room with CFOs, for years, for decades, if and what traditionally happened was like, okay, we have the script, and you're going to kind of read off the financials, which you can certainly see in the income statement and balance sheet that you're putting out there, but like really what's between the lines here, folks, and I think that instead of just reading verbatim your financial performance, folks want you to kind of shade in those lines a little bit and give some color on what's happening, and something that they can't necessarily get from the earnings release, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's you're not there to entertain, you're there to engage, right?
Yeah.
So like what are you going to say that gives people what they want, but not necessarily like, you know, with this notion in your head that you've got to make everybody like you as
Yeah.
well. And so
I
I'm
do.
going to crack
Yeah.
something or some. I mean, if you have that personality, that's awesome. Like that's great.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that's not necessarily like the archetype for most
For most of
CFOs.
them, I'd say. I do think some of them go in there and they're like, okay, this is going to be the thing everyone quotes, but that is a unique personality. Let's talk about AI though, because a lot of people watching at home, and there's research out there. A lot of people are doing investment research, getting ideas for trades and investments using the LLMs. Perplexity is very popular for financial searches, but obviously ChatGPT is the highest adoption option. When it's different how companies think about, okay, how do I make sure if someone's saying small cap stocks in the clean tech sector, how do they reverse engineer their presence online to appear in those searches? I feel like our companies asking this, knowing that people are looking for these things, and it's not Google anymore. How are they supposed to figure out how to make sure they even show up there?
Yeah, I mean, so just like you wanted to optimize your presence in search, meaning like internet search. People are now trying to optimize their presence in AI platforms, and companies are trying to do this. And so you kind of have to put yourself in the shoes of a retail investor and say, okay, if I'm a retail investor and I want to find out more about XYZ company, what am I going to prompt?
Mhm.
And so maybe it might be like, what are the best, value clean tech companies out there, right? And so if you're the IR person at that clean tech company and you want your company name to come up first when ChatGPT goes back after someone prompted, what's the best clean tech value company out there? Companies should be or are thinking now about what kind of content they could put out so that the LLM is going to kind of pull that information and use it to inform the answer to that prompt. So it could be someone might write a blog post that says, "We believe we are the most undervalued clean tech stock,"
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And so it's just thinking about what people are going to prompt in order to kind of get yourself higher up in the results that come back when people are prompting.
Yeah. It's interesting to see data around where the LLMs are sourcing the most information. And the study I saw, I can't remember, I think it might have been just ChatGPT, but it
Mhm.
might have been across a few. The top two, one was Reddit, two was
Yep.
Quora. And it is because it's like the question answer format. LLMs love to pull that. What's interesting about that is those are two channels that companies largely don't control. Like you guys use Reddit. If a company gets on Wall Street bets and they're like, here's our earning, like you're going to destroy them. So it's harder to control. And that means a lot of what's coming up is almost more organic from people talking about you online. And then that becomes a more complex, okay, how do I influence the people before they post? Or how do I make sure someone writing on Reddit about my company understands who we are enough for it to put information into the LLM so I think that's a whole other layer of just a loss of control. And I'm curious how companies are thinking about that aspect, because those are two places where companies are usually, they're not really hanging out in Reddit all day, most of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get started with conspiracy theories about
Let's
Reddit,
do it. Why not?
but I will say that I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, companies obviously plant people on Reddit to
Oh, yeah,
say the
that's a
things
thing.
that they want to say. And it's been happening, and I think that certainly is something that we're going to see happen increasingly more frequently,
Yeah.
given that Reddit becomes is a major source of the feeds for these LLMs. So that's definitely happening. And yeah, we can talk ethics. I mean, obviously, it shouldn't happen, but it's happening. And
Well,
the other thing I will just
yeah.
say is that I think that there are I I've I I just wrote a paper with the University of Florida on AI and disclosure, and one of the things that prompted the paper was that I got a tip um, that some of these platforms are feeding trading desks with information about what people are prompting.
Oh, you got a tip? You
I got
got
a
a tip.
tip. I got a
I
tip.
can't see the chat right now, but I wish I could. So
So,
tell us the
yes.
source, not the direct source. We don't want to divulge any of your sources, but explain a little bit why. I mean, there's precedent for this, right? People like there's precedent for hedge funds buying data from, back when the GameStop thing happened, people thought Robinhood and the hedge funds were in cahoots. So how would this work exactly?
So obviously these platforms are collecting data and storing information on what people are prompting, right? And
Mhm.
so if people are prompting about Katy Perry's stock, and I'm a trading desk, um, that's valuable information to me. What are they prompting about? Why are they prompting about it? And the fact that these people, think that they're prompting in an anonymous way makes the information even more valuable because it's
Yeah.
it's it's relatively objective. So we don't know to the extent. I mean, this is all we're still learning about how our information is being used when we are in fact prompting. But this source told me that there is a trading desk at a fairly significant size bank that has a feed from one of the major platforms that is basically informing their trades.
I fully buy that. And the other thing that's interesting is we had Chris Camillo on. He talks about, using Google Trend data, and that's publicly available. The thing that's crazy about the LLMs is without knowing like your identity as a person, they know so like they could back into net worth, household income, where you are. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, you can prompt it to give you like a Myers-Briggs assessment based
Oh
on,
yeah.
and it's pretty close. So I bet it's not just volume. I bet it's like pulling in levels of wealth, trading behavior, all of those things, which it'll know if you're spending time in that platform day in and day out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pulling in psychological data, right?
Yes.
Like if you're not getting along with your husband, like data,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I mean, it's
The traders need to know that. That could be like an emotional, like, oh, something
yeah.
could tip,
I
you
mean,
know?
any sort of edge that you can get on just consumer sentiment, given what's happening. I think yeah, these are far more telling than search in some ways. And the fact that these LLMs can prompt you as well. I mean, they're really prompting us too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well,
So
that's
it's
the
not, yeah.
interesting thing now, and I've noticed this, is the follow-ups used to be like, here it is, like, bye. Now it's like, here it is. By the way, do you want to go into this specific direction, which I can take you in immediately if you just say yes?
Exactly.
And it's like, why are you pushing me over there? Like, I'm
Yeah, I
starting to
mean,
get in my own head about it.
you should be considering this stock as well, Katie, because
Yeah.
if you like this, then you're really going to like that.
But that's where
And
it gets interesting too with it when they start to have ads. 'Cause when they start to have ads, then you get the you might also like, and then a company could pay to be there, which they'd
well,
have
that's
to
the thing.
disclose.
We haven't. I mean, that's we don't know what form this is going to take, or what form it is actually taking already, and we just aren't
Mhm.
aware of how these LLMs are kind of monetizing you know advertising and the interest from whatever trading desks, the street, products, to get certain things higher up in chat, or to do it natively and say, okay, well, we want you to kind of nuance this and prompt and go down this path if they start asking this question about that stock, or they seem to have an appetite for this kind of delta. So like let's start feeding them this type of information.
We should get like a crowdfunding campaign going to get our own data feed. I'm in. I'm good for, call it $50. We get enough people, we can have our own feed. Because I think that's what's really interesting. What you're describing is we were getting to a place where it felt like the information asymmetry was getting like a little more, and now there's a whole other black box that these trading desks have access to that we don't.
So I will just say that a GPT, basically, this language that we're using, is basically just fed with data sourced from specific places. So if
Mhm.
you create a GPT of all your favorite, retail investors, just those folks, right? And be able to plug in to those people on any given day, and have these like specialized groups. Yeah, I think that would be very valuable.
All right, guys. Well, I'll drop my Venmo in the comments. I'm good to I'm just gonna hold it for a second, and then we'll figure out who to pay. I think the
Yeah.
ethics of it are it's legal. I mean, data is being bought and sold. I mean, so many companies that their business is something else. Half of their business is selling data. Like that, none of it surprises me. It's just a little frustrating. I'm like, oh, if now they get, we're using those tools for research and to keep up with the hedge funds, and then they're in turn using that data to get an edge. So it kind of lights a fire. Um,
I'm with you.
Evan, we're almost down to the end of the time of our little segment, which I love the little conspiratorial turn we took. We're going to bring on Olivia Voznenko in a bit. Any parting thoughts? I mean, you're heading into, I guess, the school year. What's kind of on the curriculum, on the minds of these kind of students entering careers in this space right now?
I think they are just trying to figure out how to create content that is going to be engaging with key audiences. I
Hmm.
think it's just like, what is that? What does
Yeah.
that look like? We've been operating in these templates of like conference calls, news releases, webinars, but what really is that engagement that we want to have. And I honestly, I'm just going to go back to this. I think that that pressing flesh and meeting people in person and having a talk with them about what's going on, um, is more important than ever.
Yep.
And how you kind of structure those meetings, and also, getting people up close and personal with your company by inviting them to your headquarters, inviting them to tour those factories.
Inviting them to come on the StockTwits Daily Rip Live.
Why aren't
Is
they here
another
right now?
option.
I don't understand. It's just you and me. This is ridiculous. Like,
Well,
it's
I sat down with like 5, 6 people
oh,
yesterday. My social
okay, well,
battery, I love you. I love these guys, right? I love
yeah,
talking to the execs. At the end of the day, I'm like, okay, nobody speak to me for 12
yeah.
hours.
I'm not talking. Just put me in a closet
Yeah,
and,
but you're right. You
close the
can,
door.
and for retail investors that aren't in these meetings, video is great, right? Look at the cues. Look at when they're hesitating. Look at when their eyes
Yeah,
shift.
or
I don't
like
know.
take these folks, like grab a group of like loyal retail investors and take them for a virtual tour of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's
Don't be
whatever.
afraid of them. They're just normal
No, no,
people.
no. It's
Take them to a
absolutely. I mean,
cracker barrel.
I, I'm. There are IR folks that loathe retail. I
Well,
know it's
yeah, it doesn't,
surprising. It's surprising. It's surprising. This is a whole
some of
thing.
us are annoying. So I understand that. I can get, come
Yeah,
on, we
but
got to be honest.
these are your ambassadors.
Yeah.
These are the folks that are. These are your people. These are your owners. These are your shareholders. It's like customer service. IR is really,
Oh,
when
that's
it comes
good.
down to it, IR is
That's
customer
a bar right
service.
there. I think
That's what I
drop,
think it is. I've always believed this philosophy is always, you are there to serve the customer, the shareholder, the owner.
yeah.
You're not. That's and I, it sounds, that's your fiduciary responsibility. I don't care if they're Fidelity or Jimmy Bo Job, down the street here. Doesn't matter. It's like the you have to be consistent across the board. And if
Yeah.
you can't do that, then you shouldn't be in this
Can't
business.
take the heat, get out of the kitchen, right?
Get out of the kitchen. You got to peel
Love
potatoes with
it.
everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Evan, this is fun. I feel like we should do like a bar rescue, but we just bring people on at companies that aren't doing it right, and you can just kind of like grill them. That's a
I'm
separate
happy
show.
to.
Well,
No,
yeah.
no, I would do. It's like a Shark Tank
Yes.
for IROs. Be
All
like,
right, Evan. Well, we'll let you get back
mm,
to your day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and you'll have to come
yes,
back soon with some of your takes.
I
And
would love
always
to,
love to
Katie.
see you.
Good to see you too.
And we'll see you back soon. All right, let's bring in the Voz. I'm super excited. I'm normally chilling with the guys on this show, and Olivia Voznenko.
Hey, what's
Hello.
up?
I'm excited to meet you.
Me too.
So they were like, "Oh, Olivia's coming on," and I was like looking at your ex, and I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends." I'm
My
like, "Yeah."
ex? Oh, he has lots to say. Oh, you mean Twitter.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. We did some background. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that guy. He's trash.
First, first of all, I love the idea that you guys are going to do a bar rescue with companies,
Right?
because I've been doing that with tennis. Like, my smack talk watching the US Open is unparalleled, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it sounds really good. So I just want to go into a place and just start smack talking with
That's what I
absolutely
mean.
no,
And like when he kicks down the door and he's like, "Shut it down." Like we could do that. Like if
absolutely.
we could get through security, we could be those people.
We
I don't
are.
know. I think it would be. Um, but you're a new face on the show, but people know you in the community. But for people who might not who watch our show, give us a little background. You're in Miami, right?
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
a Florida cheeky, and originally from New Jersey. I'm sure you guys are gonna pick up on my accent as I get really into it. But I am a day trader. I like following technicals, and it's funny. I actually nicknamed one of my trades after StockTwits, looking at the popular stocks. I call them my socialite trades. So so I like
How are they
to
doing?
what?
How are they doing? So you're looking at like what's trending, what people are talking about. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and I am a day trader at heart. I look at the QQQ, the NASDAQ. I look at the S&P 500, SPY ETF, and I like to trade zero-dated options too. So I have some fun goodies for you guys. If you guys are options traders, shout out to you. I see you. We are heard. We are here.
I didn't know there was any options traders. I never hear from them. You know, they're so quiet.
I'm right here.
Well, let's get into your setups, but also, like, how long have you been doing this? Like, this is this you've always been on this career path? You've always loved this, or is this something that you kind of stumbled upon?
This is such a great. It's so random. After college, I was given an opportunity to work at an investment firm. So private placement, kind of like, that the fun side of it, fine and wine, party, learn the statistics of things and the fundamentals. But I really found myself liking the trading desk because that was where the realness was.
Yeah.
So through that, I got into trading, and I also was in media. I worked at the New York Stock Exchange as a journalist, and through that, melded the two together.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to kind of learn. We have other traders come on. I feel like everyone's got their own little pocket of their tips and tricks and the things that they get obsessed with over time. So I'm curious what's sort of dominating your trading life lately. What's interesting to you, and down to hear all about what you think is new and interesting.
The options market is the most interesting to me because, well, it's intoxicating. Come on, guys, it is. But it helps you find, because you have time is not on your side. I like to find stocks that are ready to pop or drop quickly. So I know it sounds easier. It sounds harder than it is, but using, looking at the way that charts are forming, looking at consolidations, looking at big money flow, that helps you find it, those little pockets.
That's what I'm most interested in, the signals, because we have Jake Wujastic on. He's got his own. He's like, he likes certain signals. He's like, oh, I love this one. Do you have? You just listed a few. Do you have specific? Is it you kind of have your checklist of things you're looking at, and you're looking at all of them, or do you have some of your favorites that you turn to find when these moments might be taking place?
I like stocks that probably get the most trash talked about, because that is where they have like a fan club, and you can kind of see if the fans are there, if they're true and blue, or if the momentum is sucked out. So I do have a few on my list today that I will share with you. And
Amazing.
I can screen share as well. I'm sure everyone's talking about TIGR.
No, we haven't touched them in a few days, actually.
Oh, really?
This is new and novel. So
okay, I got it.
I love the like reading the room piece, because I think that's a different skill set, right? You're in the charts, you know how to do those patterns, but also like like understanding like the vibe check of what's going on and using that as a signal is really fascinating, layered onto this, the math of it.
Yeah, so let's look at TIGR. So what I like here, Katie, is you're going to see the momentum kick in on this. You had a nice earnings report. The stock is consolidating in one of my favorite patterns, which is the easiest. This is a pennant you're forming here. And you said that you talked to, so basically it's like a jack in the box, right? It's winding, it's winding, it's winding. Now what can happen with something like this, it's going to make a move. So according to my analysis, this is going to pop. You have nice volume. I know you talked about Jake that watches the volume profile. Hey, there's the bell.
There we go.
Woo! I know
you're the most excited anyone has ever been for that, by the way. Most people are like, what's going on? Like, is that an Amber Alert? And it's like, no, that's literally the bell. That's why we're here.
Exactly. That's why we're here. I know, right? Is it an Amber Alert? Oh my gosh. So we are looking at the volume profile here. I'm sure some of your members are familiar with it. Talking to Jake, he likes to follow this. But one of my favorite parts about the volume profile is the path that's least taken, which is the developing volume. So you have basically your majority of volume is where the bright blue is, but you start to see developing volume. And when you have nodes like this, because that's what the volume profile shows, when you have nodes like this that are kind of growing while you are consolidating, that's showing interest in the stock. So that's adding, like you said, Katie, you have all these layers, that's adding that extra layer that this thing is set to squeeze, because you're seeing the interest start to gather here.
And the interest in that piece of the chart, I'm not as deep in the technical, so this is probably a dumb question, but I'll ask in case there's other dumb people. The interest, what is that measured by? Is that options? Like, how is interest measured?
No, options comes after. This is the pregame, and then options, that is the party.
Okay. So you're looking at where the chart is and what it has actually done and the shape it's taking. And then on the right with the bars, it's what's the vibe looking ahead?
Yeah, and you know what? I like simplifying things, because when so basically what the volume profile is doing, it's just measuring what price has the most volume. So we have a bunch of, you see the volume down here, you see what day had the most volume. That's what these bars are. But here, this is showing what price has the most volume. So it shows what traders find the most interesting, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Tiger is a jack in the box. Do you have any trades you're placing around this one, or is this one you're watching?
Yeah, this one I'm watching. I'm looking to get into some calls.
Okay.
Near dated calls in Tiger.
Okay. What are you waiting for? Like, what needs to happen for you to get in?
I think it's happening right now. Ideally, it would be great if we can, I drew this consolidation pattern here, which I love StockTwits. I love the commentary. I'm sure some people are like, this is so off. I just kind of eyed it. I mean, I know I could draw mine a little better, but it's an art, not a science, guys. Okay, be easy on me. First time guest.
Yes.
But ideally, it'd be great if this can close kind of outside of this pattern again. But you could just see it's starting to form. And yeah, that's why I'm sniffing this one out.
Okay, Tiger. Awesome. What else you got cooking?
All right, I got another one for you. CLMT, Katie and gang.
CLMT.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do you notice something similar on my chart?
Yes.
Consolidation. A consolidation that's starting to really break out. So this one I'm already in. I love that it's under 20 bucks. And I think that this is going to retest the highs around 20. And you could see the momentum starting to build out of the squeeze. That's CLMT. I have no idea what this company does. Someone please let me know. All I know is it's going to break out.
This is what I love having technical people on the show, because you guys are like, I don't know. I don't care, frankly. And then we have, thematic people who are like, I know everything about this company and its industry. And like, I'm basically stalking their lives on every corner of the internet. And like, people like you and Jake are like, hell if I care. Like, just show me the stuff I need to see, and then I'm going.
Well, I think that it's important to add, it is important to have the fundamentals. And I like technicals because they're telling me what's going to happen in a very short amount of time. And as an options trader, that's what's important to me.
Yeah.
The problem with fundamentals and just only focusing on that and obsessing over that is, for me, you can be right, but you can say you're right at any given time. You're like, oh yeah, I knew gold was going to blah, blah, blah. Well, you've been saying that for years. It's like,
eventually you're going to be right.
Yeah, eventually you're going to be right. Where in this case, you have to be right, or your ass is in a sling.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So this is the one you were just had up. Anything else? I'm curious also, like, for this year, what are some of your favorite or best trades you've made?
Really?
So you're like, oh, that was good. Like,
that was good. That's hitting
it.
deep. That's hitting really deep.
Okay.
My favorite trades has been day trading.
Okay.
As I mentioned, I'm an options trader, and I focus on zero-dated options, which again, I know can be, everyone's dream or your worst nightmare, because you need to be right in a very short amount of time. These options are expiring that day. And I specifically like to trade them for SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. It has a great options chain. It's super liquid. And, with volatilities coming in a little bit, they could be really cheap, especially during the summer. It's been very cheap to trade. But because, even when you have that uncertainty in the market, you could still make some huge percentage gains. So I would say the more volatility, the better for me.
Okay. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Anything else you're tracking? Yeah,
so let's dig into it. I have some levels I'd like to share with you guys today. I do think that volatility is going to pick up, and the market likes to pick either August, September, or October to see when there's going to be a bearish event and when we're going to see some selling. I think that's gonna. It wasn't August, so now we can bet that it's going to be September, October. And I do have some levels I'd like to share with you. I'm going to share my screen here. I like to identify, this is a 5-minute chart, Katie. I like to identify a call zone and a put zone. I call this the game plan. So I'm expecting the market, if we can get into any one of these areas, we're going to reach the end of it. And this is great for using zero-dated options. So here's our call zone, 644, where are we? 644.87 to 646.12. It's a little less than a 2-point range. If we can get in here, I will be buying today's 646 calls. So that's the September 4, 646 calls. That's what I'm looking at to get in here. And if we get rejected, I do have a put zone, because call up, puts down, 643 to 642. I'll be buying the 642 puts. So right now we're kind of range bound. Market just opened, as we heard that opening bell, not an Amber Alert. We are consolidating into that, and we'll see if we can get absorbed into one of these.
Okay, and I'm curious too, because so you said this is a 5-minute?
Yeah, 5-minute chart.
Okay, it's a short window. How quickly do you need to move when you spot something? How quickly do you need to place that trade? Like, what is it just you have another, that's why you have another screen up and you do it immediately? How does that work?
Yeah, I like to look at the 5-minute candle. I just want to see it basically close in that range, kind of how we were looking, how these candles can pop out and close out of these ranges. I'm looking for the 5-minute candle to do the same thing. And so as long as it closes in that range, when I say close, I mean, I want to see the top of the candle into that range. This will allow me to get the go.
Okay.
Get into the option.
I'm curious too with so you're obviously like locked in market hours. Thank you for being here during the first.
I know. I set my trade alerts out already. Okay. It was totally cool. While we were looking.
Sometimes, my co-host Shai, sometimes I'll notice him like spacing out a little bit off screen. He's like, "Sorry, I just bought." I'm like, "It's fine, dude. Do your thing." But
so wait, did it freeze? Is there an internet problem?
Yeah, he'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I was locked in." I was like, "It's fine. I was just talking to myself for 5 minutes."
Resting trader face.
Yeah. But do you do any like overnight or futures, or because it seems like for what you do, you could just go 24 hours a day, right? With like the crypto market, like how do you know when to stop?
A lot of Celsius.
I love Celsius. I'm trying to get them to sponsor that. Ryan's drinking a Celsius. Our producer.
Oh my gosh. I love it so much that it doesn't work for me anymore. Unfortunately. Same. I need like creatine or something. I need like a creatine Adderall Celsius.
Yeah. I like meth. I don't know. Like Celsius?
Yeah, meth is good.
That was a joke, people, just so you know. No one's doing meth on this show. Just don't get it twisted. The Celsius, I have friends that are like, "Oh my God, I have heart palpitations." And I'm like, "This is my second one. I'm fine."
Same here. It doesn't affect me anymore. I need that. As you can see, as the kind of trader I am. By the way, Katie, check it out. We are getting into that call zone right now. So I am expecting the market to continue to move up. If you guys are following this trade, you could see kind of like a mini consolidation here as well, which I know I'm going to get trashed by how I like to draw my lines. But it's
wait, can you explain why is that? I think your lines are great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know, if you're in the comments and not presenting your slides, you know, maybe there's a reason for that.
I really
Okay.
wish I could see it. So you guys have a live chat right now. I can't see you guys,
I
but
can't
what's
see
up?
it either, but if anyone is trashing her slides, you know, just don't. Okay, continue.
It's all right. Listen, I love the community, and that brings me back to the trading desk. I mean, the things that you hear at a trading desk that truly makes you family.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, we have a nice consolidation here. I don't love these wicks that's showing rejection. I believe we did have ADP come out earlier. So
That was, I think they reported 54,000 jobs added. It was supposed to be 75K. So not great, Bob. So I don't know if that's a piece of it.
The big kahuna is going to be on Friday.
Yes.
They don't call it non-farm payrolls anymore, which is throwing me off. I sound old.
What do they call it?
The employment report, which is what it should have been called in the first place. But
I love how they're still separating the farm. I mean,
yeah,
kind of. All right, we get it.
Yeah, we get it. We get
it. Not 18, 12 anymore.
Anyway, we're seeing that, like I was discussing before, we're seeing that wine, that jack in the box, and that coiling, whatever you want to call it. So we are getting a little bit of rejection, but SPY, or the S&P 500, is trying to break out right now. And the more we coil here, and if we can just close out of that range, we're going to see a really nice pop today.
Okay, exciting stuff. So okay, that's the view of everything. Going back to, I know we had some individual. I'm curious, did you ever trade Celsius stock, or you just drink it? You did?
I did.
Because that was volatile. Was it last summer when they thought there was arsenic in it or something?
Oh yeah. By the way, give me any stock that's in a lawsuit. I will buy it up immediately. Immediately. Or any stock that's trashed. You know, it's funny, Katie, I was watching some previous shows and you guys were discussing Cracker Barrel. And I don't know if you remember this, but this was before they changed the logo back. You said, well, it's probably not going to happen, but what if they go back? What if they get bullied into reverting back to the logo? And look what happened. They did. So
I didn't think it would happen because, like, I am a marketer by trade, and like changing a logo is the most annoying thing. You have to change it, HR manuals, benefits, portal. Like, going back is like, somebody was like, you have to be kidding me when that happened. And like, it would have to be so bad to go back on it, but I don't know. I like Cracker Barrels. I feel like they shouldn't change a thing. I wish there was one in Manhattan. I don't think I'm ever going to get that. But do you have them down in Florida?
I don't. Probably. I've only been to a Cracker Barrel once when, you know, it was like off of 81.
Yeah.
I was hungry and I stopped at a Cracker Barrel. And I couldn't believe the amount of lemon drops people like. I mean, they have buckets and buckets of lemon drops. I did not realize this was a popular thing.
I don't know. It's like a time capsule. You go in there, you're like, damn. Hey, but I like that. So you're kind of like, all right, you scan headlines and stuff just to see, all right, who might be going through some stuff.
I do everything. Today. You're right. I'm like a hamster.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, when you're trading and stuff, you're in Miami, like that must be hard. You're like looking outside, it's probably like a beautiful ocean view, and you're like, no, I'm locked in.
It's the worst place to be hungover because it is, because you're just like, oh, and it's sunny and gorgeous outside. You're like, can it just rain, please?
No. Yeah, that's true. But even for like working, I feel like I'd get easily distracted.
I think that's why I like zero dated options, because you got to be right quickly. You take your trade and you're out of there.
I love it.
And then you hit the beach. So I have some other stocks I'd like to share with you guys.
Yeah,
that's cool. I'm like I said, I'm all over the place because there's so much going on. You have, I think that you have the general market is looking bearish, but then you have these insane stocks that are ready to pop. And so you start seeing these inefficiencies and you're like, well, which one should I focus on? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I like to look at the day-to-day. I do like fun stocks like this. I like looking at headlines of stocks that are, we were talking about lawsuits, stocks that are, because that's going to be solved. It's just a matter of time, but they'll settle it. They usually do. But I do have some other ones I want to share with you.
Right.
China. Let's talk PDD. Okay. Pinduoduo. So this one has been getting a lot of options activity, a lot of flow. We did have a negative earnings reaction, which you kind of see it with these stocks like Baba or Baidu. They're buying it right back up. We did just close this gap, and I think that's something like PDD is it's set to pop in the next month.
Okay. That's the Temu parent company?
Yeah.
I believe. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's they're all in this together. And then let's look at FXI. I don't know. I'm liking these gap downs in China stocks, and I think that we're going to get a pop. Usually when you start to see, like, look at anytime they beat these stocks up, it pops, and you have a really nice upward trend. You broke symmetry here. And so I think that this one will continue to go higher. And this is for the folks out there, the folks at Cracker Barrel. These are for the guys out there that are looking for in a couple months. I think that FXI, PDD, that they're going to get a nice bid, slow and steady.
Well, so I'm curious, you're looking at these, you're like, I think they're going to get a pop. How do you know when about? Like, how do you know how to time that based on what you're seeing in the chart?
You're just looking at how it's reacting from previous data. So I like to follow the 40-day moving average. You have your 2 honey, you have your 50-day, but the 40-day, I've been back testing this, and it has the most control on a stock. And you could see anytime it's hit that 40-day, pops up, pops up, pops up. Look what we're hitting right now, the 40-day. And so as long as we're holding here, and it could maybe drop a little bit, but I think that this will continue. It shows that nice trend upwards and holding its ground.
Okay.
Diamond hands. Yeah. No weak longs here. It's a nice bullish chart. So,
and how many of these charts are you toggling between on a given day? You just showed us 5, 6. Are there like hundreds, or how do you, to your point, how do you keep focused?
Well, I have a service that, my members will constantly give me stock requests. So I'm like Jim Cramer lightning round.
Yeah. Olivia GPT with the charts. Just
oh my God.
Giving the people what they want.
Could you imagine a Voz AI? That would be awesome.
You could build it. We could.
Yeah, I am. I'm working on that.
Do it.
Yeah.
Ryan, the producer, says that would be terrible. He's definitely going to buy the subscription.
Oh, okay, Ryan. Well, I'll see you at recess, okay? On the blacktop.
Okay, so yeah, you have your own stuff in then, but that must be fun, right? Everyone's like, oh, what do you think of this one? And it's probably something you maybe hadn't thought of, and you're like, oh, that's kind of really interesting.
Fun. It is really fun, and that's why I like the StockTwits community. I'm really not blowing smoke up here, and I like Twitter, and I like TikTok, and I like putting content out there because you have people just want someone to agree with you or disagree with you, and that starts the conversation going. You can get some really good stocks out of it. So, I like to put an idea out there, and if people disagree with it, don't get furious, get curious, lean into it. Well, why? What are you seeing? Maybe you have, this experience or this opinion, and you can get some really nice nuggets out there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other things you want to cover?
Girl, I could talk shop all day. All right, we went over China, which, FXI, PDD. I think that these have a little more room to run. We're looking at, maybe if you guys are into options, you're looking at calls, maybe look at December calls, or, if you're just holding the stock, this is a nice bullish momentum, straight up chart, which is great. We like TIGR, which is more of a short dated pop that I'm looking at. I'm also looking at CLMT, looking for a short dated pop out of that one as well. I do have some bearish stocks, and I have some tips.
Oh, let's do some bearish ones.
I know. Let's do some bearish ones.
We have a couple minutes. Let's drag them.
Let's go. Yeah. Okay. First, let me just check on. Just want to check on my call zone, guys. We are getting a nice pop here out of that consolidation. Market is looking, I'm looking for a pop and a drop today. So Katie, I think that SPY, the first target is 645.53, looking maybe to get to 646.12, and then see if we get a little bit of a rollover, because you could see the momentum is popping. Yeah, girl. All right.
Love it. I love it.
I'm a lot. Okay.
No, this is like, now you honestly make me want to be able to do this. Everyone knows I'm not a technical, but like, I would love to be able to do this. This is cool. And now I know the Jack in the Box. So
yeah,
I'm one step further in my journey.
You'll start to see it. You'll start to see these patterns, and it kind of is, it's.
Yeah. I like how there's always something new to dig into. I love digging into things. Like, I'm Southern Italian. I'll dig all day, you know?
You're Italian?
Yeah, half.
What's your other half?
Irish or some, like Irish, French or something. I really like, I identify as Italian, I'd say.
That's great. And you're in New York, Katie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, most days, you know. Miami sounds nice too, though.
Listen, it's really easy to live here because the airport is right there.
Yeah.
It's a great base, you know, and the taxes are great, but I love to jump on a plane and go back to New York. I'll sometimes just make up reasons to go for work. I'll just make up meetings. Like, yeah, I got to be there for work, but really I want to go to Elio's.
Yes. Oh, Elio's. Amazing. Okay.
The chicken parm that's not on the menu. Meanwhile, you walk in, everyone has the chicken parm, but it's not on the menu.
Well, speaking of bad exes, and then I want to get into your bear positions, but since you brought it up, my cousin dated this guy, and his claim to fame was he would go to Elio's with his buddies on Thursdays, and like he would eat himself to the point of like near hospitalization. And he was like but he would, and she'd be like, oh, he went to Elio's again. He can't come out. It'd be like Friday, and like, he had too many meatballs. And I'm like, who is this grown adult man who like cannot control himself at Elio's? And that was like his nickname after that was just Elio's. So
you're kidding.
Don't act like that, guys. I mean, anyway.
I think that leans into, that definitely leans into obsessive commitment issues.
Well, it was like a flex. He's like, oh, I had 12 last night. We're like, all right, good for you. You can't even get out of bed today.
No, that's the worst, when people are flexing. You're like, this is not a flex. This is not a flex. You
like, that's disgusting.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you do
don't be like Elio's.
Yeah.
Okay. In the couple minutes we have left, you want to do some of the yeah. Okay, I got us off topic. It's okay. My bad.
Okay. So real quick, guys, you know, overall, again, the market likes to pick August, September, October for a sell-off, or just when I say sell-off, I mean a correction, which we all want, right? That's what makes some great opportunities to buy. But you started seeing those inefficiencies back in July after that non-farm payrolls report. August 1st. They bought it back up, but you could see the weakness in the market. You know, this is not, it's normal, but it's not normal to sustain a momentum to go to continue to reach all-time highs. So you're starting to see these inefficiencies where any sort of bad news can take the markets to the kneecaps. We do have non-farm payrolls coming up this Friday. That could be one of those catalysts that can bring the market in a little bit. But right now, I mean, look after that awesome recovery, you're starting to see this consolidation, which is not the best consolidation. You're not seeing that squeeze like we were seeing in the daily chart, or seeing, or in the 5-minute chart, or seeing in those stocks I pointed out, like CLMT and TIGR. This is starting to kind of broaden out, and that's when momentum can start to roll over. And again, it just takes one catalyst to do that. Is it going to be this Friday's non-farm payrolls? It could be. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do know that we're going to have a catalyst that's going to take this lower. It can come in the next 2 months. I do have 2 stocks that I think are bearish. If you guys don't just want to trade the S&P 500, the first is CVE, Cenovus Energy. This is kind of doing what we were looking at in a shorter term perspective that the S&P is doing. You're starting to see that momentum kind of break down, and you're seeing symmetry being broken, and this one could not break out. So instead, it's starting to fade lower. So I like CVE. My target for this stock is 21. Options chain is awesome. So I'd be looking at short dated put options in CVE. The next one, Neon. Obviously, we had a big gap down on some sort of news. You know, they'll probably buy it up a little bit. I would like to watch this. You know, traders are going to go long this in the next few days, and then I'd short it probably on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see, I think Neon was the top trending stock in StockTwits this morning. So something is going down there.
Yeah, something's going down. The stock.
Yes.
You know how many meatballs I eat?
Oh my God, I know. Can you believe that? God, disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tell these anecdotes and people are like, "That's not real," and I'm like, "No, it's real. You probably have worse stories, but like, it's just, yeah, it's rough out there, guys. People just are eating a lot of meatballs."
Well, I think we're gonna hang out again, and we'll have plenty of stories to share.
We're gonna do the next show live from Elios. So
live from Elios. They would allow it. They're cool there.
Yeah. Well, Voz, tell people who might not know where to follow you, where to get more insights like this. This was awesome.
Sure. Voz, Olivia Voz for real on Twitter. I took a month off of TikTok, but I also do trading in pajamas live on TikTok. But mostly I have a service, Trade to Close. We day trade the actual close from 3 to 4 p.m. It's a live show, live trading, which is fun. And then I also run the game plan, which is what you guys got a peek of today, how we like to trade those call and put zones, which is cooking.
Amazing. Well, I know you're going to come back. Well, you have to come back. It's been so fun having you on. I'm so pumped we got to meet. And I hope you have an awesome weekend on deck.
Thank you so much,
fun
Katie.
planned?
And thank you guys for having me on today. This is really fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we enjoy the energy and the education, and you're welcome back whenever you want, Voz.
Woo! All right, thanks guys. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's make that money.
I love it. All right, I'm gonna run through a wall of this conference room. Everyone else, we'll see you Monday morning for the Daily Rip Live. And again, follow StockTwits. All of our executive interviews will be dropping over the next few days. Voz, thanks again, and we'll see everyone on Monday.
Peace.